All right, hello and welcome. If you've got exams coming up, you are in the perfect spot. We are about to break down everything you need to know about the management of business operations. Seriously, think of this as your secret weapon for that exam. Ready? Let's get right into it.
So let's kick things off with a huge question. Have you ever seen a business with a great product, something you absolutely love, and then one day, poof, it's just gone? It's confusing, right? The product is awesome, but the company fails. Well, the answer to that mystery is exactly what we're talking about today.
And that answer? It's business operations. You can think of it as the engine of a company. It's powerful, it's what drives everything forward, but a lot of the time, you don't even see it. But without that engine running smoothly, the most beautiful car in the world is just a fancy lawn ornament. So let's pop the hood and see what this engine is all about.
Okay, so for your YAM, you're going to want the official definition, right? Here it is. Business operations is all about coordinating the key ingredients: people, materials, money, machines, and processes. The real magic, though, isn't just having all that stuff. It's about getting them all to work together, like a well-oiled machine to deliver the best possible product or service super efficiently.
And hey, to make that even easier to remember, let's just boil it down to a super simple formula. Think of it like this. Business operations is just people plus money plus machines plus process. That's it. When you get those four things humming along together, you've got yourself a powerful business engine. All right, to really get a grip on this, we're going to look at it like a playbook. Like in sports. And this playbook has three parts. Part one is all about setting the direction. This is where you figure out your game plan before you even step onto the field.
So plan number one in our book is strategic planning. This is actually pretty straightforward. It's about knowing where you are right now, figuring out where you want to go in the future, and then drawing a map to connect the dots. It's basically the GPS for your company.
But what does that planning really mean? Well, it's way more than just wishful thinking. It's about having a crystal clear long-term vision. And maybe even more important, it's about deciding who does what. You've got to know who's drawing up the blueprint and who are the builders actually making it happen.
Okay, play number two is a big one, the financing decision. If operations is the engine, then money, finance, that's the fuel. It's the absolute lifeblood of the business. Without cash, that engine doesn't even start. It just sputters and dies. And a business needs that money at every single step. You need a chunk of cash just to open the doors. Then you need money for the day-to-day stuff, paying bills, keeping the lights on. And when you're ready to get bigger, you need even more money to expand. The whole point, of course, is to use that money as smartly as possible to make even more money.
And our third play in this section is market research. Look, in today's world, you can't just make something cool and hope for the best. You have to be a bit of a detective. You need to really dig in and understand what your customers want, and you definitely have to know what your competition is up to. That's how you stay in the game and even get ahead. Okay, so the game plan is set. You've got your direction. Now we move to part two of the playbook, making it happen. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're shifting from just planning to actually doing, turning all those awesome ideas into something real. First up in this section, function number 4, logistics. This is literally the A to B journey of your product. Think about it. How does something get from a factory to a warehouse, then to a store, and finally into a customer's hands? That whole complex dance, that's logistics. It's the magic of getting the right thing to the right place at the right time. Number 5 is all about technological decisions. And let's be honest, what modern business can survive without good tech? It's just not possible. Technology is what makes you fast, it makes you efficient, it helps you make smart decisions based on actual data, not just guesswork. It's a huge, huge advantage. All right, next we have the internal process review. Now, a business can't just set things up and then forget about it, right? It can't run on autopilot. It has to constantly be looking in the mirror, asking, how can we do this better? This little cycle, check, improve, grow. This is what really separates the okay companies from the great ones. So what are they actually checking in this review? Well, they're looking at their money. Are the finances healthy? They're looking at how things get done day to day. Is the workflow smooth or clunky? And they're looking over their shoulder at the competition. This whole process is about finding what you're good at so you can do more of it, and finding what's broken so you can fix it. And that leads us perfectly into the final part of our playbook, powering growth. So you've got the plan, you're making it happen.
Now, how do you keep that momentum going? This is all about building for the long haul.
I love this quote. In today's market, the consumer is the king. And that is the perfect intro to our seventh function, taking care of your customers. I mean, you can have the world's best product and the slickest operation, but if your customers aren't happy, you're toast. Happy customers come back, they tell their friends, and that's how you build a business that lasts. Next up, number 8, employee enrichment. This is so important. Your employees aren't just cogs in a machine. They are your secret weapon. They're your core strength. So, finding the right people, giving them the skills they need, and keeping them excited to come to work, that's the shortcut to hitting all your goals. And last, but definitely not least, number 9, innovation and creativity. You know, innovation sounds like a big, fancy word, but it just means doing things in a new way, or doing old things in a better way. In a crowded market, fresh ideas are like oxygen for a business. It's what keeps you from just surviving and helps you really, truly thrive. And there you have it, the 9 core functions of business operations. That's the playbook. But before we wrap up, to make sure you are totally locked in for your exam, let's do a super fast lightning round recap of some of the foundational ideas behind all this. You ready? Let's do it. Okay, first, the absolute basics. All human activities are one of 2 things: economic, meaning you do it for money, or not economic. Business, of course, is always economic. And what makes it a business? Well, you're producing something, you're trying to make a profit, and you're taking on some risk. The whole game is about surviving first, then growing, and doing it all as efficiently as you possibly can. Next up, let's quickly clear up 3 words that are often mixed up: industry, commerce, and trade. Industry is the part that makes the stuff. Commerce is the whole system that gets the stuff from the maker to the buyer. And right in the middle of all that is trade, which is just the basic act of buying and selling. And you can't forget the helpers. These are the auxiliaries to trade. Trade just wouldn't work without them. You've got transport to move things around, warehousing to store them, insurance to protect against risk, banking to handle the money, and advertising to tell everyone about it. They're like the essential backstage crew for the whole show. Okay, to finish up, here's a little challenge for you. Think about your absolute favorite brand. Could be Apple, could be Nike, could be that little coffee shop down the street. Now, think about those 9 functions we talked about. Which one of them does that brand just knock out of the park? Is it their crazy innovation, their perfect logistics, or the way they treat their customers? When you start applying these ideas to brands you know and love, that's when it really clicks. All right, that's it for me. Good luck with your studies.